This is On the Subject, the show discussing film, TV, and beyond, with your hosts Logan Noggle and Zachary Jackson, featuring Malcolm Russell Nelson. Everybody, go with the theme song. Welcome back. I'm Mal Nasty.
I'm Zach.
And welcome back. This is the next chapter in our series in review for the hip popular Mission Impossible series. This one being focused on the third entry into the franchise, Mission Impossible 3, or MI3. It's a 2006 action spy adventure film. It's great. That's all you need to know. That's it. That's the end. No.
Can I say,
yeah, go for it.
Right off the bat, I think it's kind of strange that this is just called Mission Impossible 3, because I feel like JJ always wants to give things kind of odd names.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, the regular name is Mission Impossible 3, but I'm sure the production name was something ridiculous. I'm sure it was actually probably just Rabbit's Foot.
Probably the anti-god.
That speech is amazing. Mission Impossible 3, which was released May 5th, 2006. It is J.J. Abrams' directorial debut, which is crazy to think that this is his directorial debut. I mean, that's an odd choice, which apparently there was a bunch of other directors lined up for this. Let's see here. Like in 2002, it was supposed to be David Fincher, which is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
He backed out. And then after that, it was Joe Carnahan, who was developing the movie for like a year. And it was supposed to have Kenneth Branagh playing a bad guy. And it was going to be Carrie-Anne Moss and Scarlett Johansson. And Thandie Newton was offered to reprise her role from Mission Impossible 2, but she said no, rightfully. And then Carnahan quit like in 2004, and then Tom Cruise apparently just called up J.J. Abrams and gave him the job after watching Alias.
That actually explains why this one's so dark compared to the other ones.
Yes, it does, because it feels like a really good Alias episode from the first two seasons.
But I mean like the like Carnahan and Fincher, because there's like are actually like physically dark movies.
That's very fair. Well, so, I mean, JJ's stuff is physically dark too. I mean, look at the two Star Treks and
his TV shows were
great, especially
brighter though.
Yeah, his shows are, but his movies are always dark.
Yeah, but like this is his first one, so
that
makes me wonder if that's why.
Maybe this has just affected that. That's a good point. Yeah. That's a very good.
So I wonder if they had like a director of photography attached with Carnahan and he's stuck around, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. The DP on this is Dan Mindel. Amazing cinematography, by the way. It's a gorgeous looking movie. Not a lot of lens flare. This is before he discovers it. This is like right when he's discovering his lens flare fetish. Because like there's a little bit in this.
I think the most there is when he escapes. Or no, when he's like at the hospital and he's like running away before IMF catches him. I think that's when there's like the most.
Okay, I would actually say like the sequence in Saving Lindsay.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah,
like, there's a lot in that building with the glass and everything. There's a lot.
Yeah, like the lasers from the guns.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, the sequence is so good. So this sees Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise return with a whole cast of characters, including a personal favorite of ours, Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence used the women's Fishburne.
Yeah, it's just like angry boss Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, which is what he was meant to be. Philip Seymour Hoffman, and one of my favorite Philip Seymour Hoffman performances is Owen Davian, the villain of the piece, which he is incredible in this movie.
He's so good.
He's so good. Ving Rhames returns. We got Billy Crudup. We got Michelle Moynihan, Maggie Q, Simon Pegg. This is the first Simon Pegg Mission Impossible movie, which he goes on to be a staple in the franchise. Eddie Marsan for 30 seconds. Jonathan Rhys Meyers in one of his best movies. It's great. Okay, let's get into this. So the movie starts off. We found out that Ethan is getting married. Starts off with a nice dinner party. I guess it's kind of like an engagement party.
Actually, it starts off with like part of.
Oh,
the end
that's
of the
right.
movie.
It starts off in medias res. Oh my
Yeah.
god, how could I forget? You're right. So the movie actually starts off with a super tense scene where Ethan is tied to a chair. He just got something shot in his nose. He doesn't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on, and he's sitting across from Michelle Moynihan and Owen Davian. So Michelle Moynihan is Julia. We'll find out who she is. But Owen Davian has got a gun to her head and keeps asking Ethan, where's the rabbit's foot? Where is it? I'm going to give you to the count of 10, and then I'm going to shoot her face off. And this is when you get like really good Tom Cruise, because he goes from trying to stay in control of the situation to literally pleading for Julia's life. Like by each number, he's clearly like losing more and more control of the situation, and he realizes it, and it's great acting from him.
Yeah.
Also, you get to see how scary Philip Seymour Hoffman is as he's yelling numbers. That's all he's doing. And it's a super tense scene, and then the gun goes off, and then that's when you get the opening credits. Which is amazing. That's a great open. It's horrible and dark and twisted. And then after the opening credits, that's which these are like the most standard opening credits of any Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
I think like the opening credits are nothing to write home about, because it's just the fuse eternally being lit, and a name flashes and a name flashes and a name flashes, and it's kind of boring.
Yeah, it is.
But that's fine. That's fine. And so after the credits open, you cut to Ethan opening like a fridge because this is the engagement party, which is weird. So Julia is getting married to Ethan. Ethan's getting married to Julia, and they're talking, and Ethan's covers that he works in transit. What's the line? I watch patterns. You could literally see the city's breathing. Like
Traffic is like a living organism.
Yeah, traffic is literally like a living organism. Yeah. You also get a nice quick intro to Aaron Paul, young Aaron Paul being Julia's brother. That's cool. He's basically just doing. Yeah, he's the stoner brother. He's just doing Todd from BoJack, just in real life with longer hair. You totally know he's wearing flip flops too. Like, it makes complete sense. So Ethan gets he gets a phone call, right? He gets a phone call about winning a trip, and that he gets this really serious look on his face. And then he goes, I love that he like literally grabs the ice thing, takes it outside and dumps the ice, and then tells everyone like, oh, I got to go get ice.
Yeah.
I just really appreciate the attention to detail. Like, just like the ice will melt, like no one will know. Like, so he drives to a convenience store, and that's where he meets Billy Crudup's character, John Musgrave, who is an IMF agent, who Musgrave, talks to him a little bit and then indicates that Ethan should buy one of the disposable cameras. Ethan buys the disposable camera, takes it downstairs to the basement of his house, and he gets his new mission, which is finding out that one of Ethan. So Ethan isn't an active field member anymore. He's just a trainee, or he's a trainer. So he's training all the new IMF agents. And one of his trainees, Lindsay Ferris, played by Kerry Russell, went dark and has been kidnapped, and you don't know where she is. You do know where she is, but she's been kidnapped. Ethan's got to put together a team to go save her. So he puts together this awesome team: Declan and Zen and Luther. Declan, played by Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, and he's totally not annoying in this movie, which is great. Zen, played by Maggie Q. Go on.
I was gonna say there's like a couple moments where he almost is, but they play it off well. Like when he
they play it off really well. That's the thing.
What is it like?
Just, all I do is copy.
Yeah. It's like, I don't like that joke, but then when Maggie Q says the joke back to him later, that's when I like it.
When Maggie Q calls it back, it's great.
Yeah.
Like, Maggie Q's pretty awesome in this. I really like her. I wish she was in more of these. As Zen, she's pretty fun. And then Luther is just there for a good time because there's always Luther. So the team goes to save Lindsay in this warehouse. Where is it? Like
somewhere in Russia, wasn't it?
In Russia or something, right? Yeah.
Can't remember.
So excuse me. So they go to this warehouse and they do this awesome rescue sequence. I am a big fan of any time in a movie you see someone get stabbed in the chest with an adrenaline needle. And so I love that when Ethan gets to Lindsay and she's like super like doped out and like beat, he like cradles her and he's like, I'm sorry, this is gonna hurt a lot. Stabs her in the chest. And she's which is awesome. And then you get awesome Kerry Russell action sequence, which is cool. Like,
okay, so here's where like my first note comes in. Actually, my second one. Even after like the John Woo movie, the action in this is so ramped up. It's really crazy. Like,
it's really, especially in this sequence.
Yeah.
It's like really like just this sequence for the entire movie is insane.
Yeah, because the rescue mission to save Lindsay, and it's not even remotely stealthy. Like their initial plan isn't even like sneaking to get her. It's like, oh, you go inside, and I'm gonna blow up all the floors of the building with the turret.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm gonna make sure that there's no building left. Like,
yeah.
I love like they have like the distraction. They have the distraction guns and stuff. Like Luther just set up like the guns on the outside that he can control.
Yeah, just like blowing out all the windows and stuff.
Yeah, to blow up all the windows and make everyone like inside think that there's a big attack outside.
Yeah,
which like that's cool to watch. Like him just swirl all the like mouse balls. Like,
then Maggie Zen runs in and she's going to grab like a hard drive or something.
Yeah, a hard drive.
She's just like murdering people when she runs in. And there's like somebody.
Like there's a lot of death in this sequence, which is crazy. Like
it's just crazy.
They are.
It's not their
insane.
It's crazy that that's not their like plan B. That is their plan A. Like there's not even that many people. They said there are like 12 people, I think.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And they're just like, you know what? Let's just take them out. It took one of ours. Let's just take them out. No prisoners.
It doesn't make sense to me, but I love it.
It's crazy. There's a couple of things in this sequence that doesn't make sense. It's that, and then like even when they are leaving, when Ethan and Lindsay are about to like jump out the window, and he like has the charge and like throws it, and it's like a magnetic charge. It's supposed to hit like a magnetic like pole. But like he throws it and it like arcs like perfectly on this pole, and it's ridiculous. It's like, whoa, that looks really cool, but that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But then they like jump out the window and land on top of the truck, and I love that bit. I'm like the go, and then the explosion happens. I'm like, all right.
I also love like when they're making their way out and like he tosses Kerry Russell the gun.
I love that shot. That's great.
Does the thing where like the camera like pans around with her as she aims her gun, and then like there's one guy left, and she's like, "I'm out of rounds."
It's like I'm out. Yeah. And then she's like, "How many do you have?" He's like, "Enough."
Got enough. Then he shoots one bullet, but he's like, "Now I'm out."
Which is badass. Like, that is such a badass sequence. Like it's an awesome action sequence. It's completely extra and unnecessary. It's awesome.
Yep.
So they make it out of the building. Oh, what do you got?
I was gonna say, I feel like JJ just finally has the budget to do like an action thing. So that's why he's doing these big things in this.
That's exactly. Yeah. Cause all the action sequences are pretty much big set piece stuff. Like it's just like, that's the craziest one. Like that's the most intense one.
Yeah. That was like just shot
as far as
really
like
well.
Gun violence stuff. Yeah. It's a good action sequence. The movie's good. So they escape the building, and Declan comes in with the helicopter, which is their escape plan. And lo and behold, the bad guys have a helicopter too, which I think is great. So they're trying to escape from that helicopter, and Lindsay starts like freaking out. She's trying to tell Ethan something, then she starts freaking out really hard. And it's because Owen Davian placed this charge in her nose, like shot a charge into her nose up into her brain. That's a time release thing, and it'll go off. And so they're trying to figure out how to save her life. They get a defibrillator, and like, okay, we can shock her, like it'll kill her, but we'll bring her back. You know, like this is the only way. And then it explodes, and she dies, and it's kind of brutal to watch.
It's really gross looking, like
because of the eye thing. Like you see the explosion like in her eye, and her eye just like fritzes out. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's like her left one like goes up, and the right one just like goes to the side. It's gross. It looks real.
Yeah, like it looks way too real. I wonder if Kerry Russell can do that. So they get back to the U.S. and Ethan and Musgrave are in trouble. From the IMF director, Theodore Brassel, played beautifully by Lawrence Fishburne, because there is nothing that Lawrence Fishburne does better than be the angry guy behind the desk. He is so good at it.
He's so good. He's got some of the best lines in the scene too. When he's yelling at them, because like he's yelling at them about their plan, like being dumb, because it was dumb. It was not like
it was super stupid. Yeah,
and he's just like, this is intelligence, and I've yet to see any. It's very true.
I love it. Oh man. So after they're in trouble, Ethan goes home and he finds out that he got mail from Lindsay, which she placed a magnetic microdot with the postcard. It was like a postcard from her. And so Ethan takes it to Benji Dunn, who's just a tech. And so he takes it to Benji, because Benji's also trying to figure out what was on the laptop. The laptop got damaged.
It's completely like fried.
Yeah, like super crispy.
Which
is what that's what Brassel says, right?
Yeah. Although he's pointing out like how damaged it is, and then he's like, "Yeah, I can still do it though."
Yeah, I can still do it. It's just, which is awesome. So Benji finds out that Davian will be in the Vatican, in Vatican City, to obtain something called the Rabbit's Foot, which, you know, there's always a question of like, what is the Rabbit's Foot? It's always the question. They ask what the Rabbit's Foot is, like, and they don't know. But Benji comes up with this idea of like, you know, like he tells this story about like how when he was in school, he had a professor that believed, you know, like there was going to be this thing called basically the anti-god, like it was going to be the thing that could destroy everything, you know. And maybe that's what the Rabbit's Foot is, which immediately instills terror in the entire movie. It's just like, wow, I don't know what this thing is, but it seems scary now.
I love that they never find out what it is.
That is the best choice about this movie.
It's very JJ.
It is super JJ. I love that choice, that even to the last minute they're playing with you and not telling you.
Yeah. And I also feel like it's sort of a dig at the Chimera virus in number 2. It's like you don't care about the virus like plotline. You don't care about
it doesn't matter. It's just the MacGuffin.
Yeah. You know? Like you're focusing too much on it. It's taken away from the movie, and this is a good way to handle it.
Exactly. Also, you pronounced Chimera wrong. That's the only way to pronounce it. It's Chimera and Bellafron. The movie's so weird. So Ethan decides, okay, we got to go get Davian. Like Davian's got this thing coming to him. We got to go get him. So he gathers up his team. Before he does that, he tells Julia that he's got to leave, and then they get married in the hospital with the silly rings.
Okay.
And then they do it in the hospital commons section.
Okay,
Because that's important for us to know.
this is one of my big notes for the whole thing. I really dislike the marriage like subplot thing.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Like,
it just doesn't work.
Like,
I wish it did.
I think it's such an overused thing where you have like the spy or whatever, like action hero, and he's got a secret life that he's hiding from his spouse, and it reminds me of Super 8 because it's such a very basic like storytelling device. Like in Super 8, the kids when they're making their movie, they're like, oh, I think we should make the detective married because it adds more drama and whatnot. It's just like,
yeah,
it's like that is like very basic filmmakers would think. It's such like it's a very intro level thing.
It's a very intro. Yeah, it's a very amateur script thing.
He's aware of that, but I just was never sold on it. And like I'm fine with Catherine Monahan, but I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I agree. It's such a weird thing for them to have. And it's funny. I think it's actually handled better in 4.
Yeah. And
I think the relationship is a lot more believable in 4 than it is in this.
Well, and also like in the first movie, you have 2 married characters in it who are both spies. Like, why not just make his wife one? Like, she doesn't have to be like a field agent or anything. I just don't like.
No, I kind of like that she doesn't do what he does.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
that.
That.
I mean, she could still be aware of what he does, but she doesn't have to do the same job as him.
Oh, I get you. You. Okay.
Like, she could be like in Benji's lab or something. I don't know. Or she could just be a Dr. Sill and just he tells her.
I was gonna say she could be like an IMF like doctor, like
cause Ethan doesn't care.
They could do that trope.
Yeah.
You're right. Ethan doesn't care.
He doesn't care about the rules at all. Like he's like burned out already. I mean,
yeah.
And then like in 4, there's a married couple that are both, or I don't know if they're married, but they're together and they're both agents.
No, aren't they married?
I'm not sure. I think they are.
I thought I read something about them actually having been married or like engaged, and I was like, "That's fascinating." I never got that impression.
I just assumed,
but that's really interesting.
I just assumed they were.
You assume that they're married.
Yeah, because like she's so like affected by his death.
Yeah, because it's Josh Holloway. He's got that good D.
But yeah, that's one thing I don't like the marriage subplot thing.
Yeah.
And
no, I agree. It just doesn't work very well.
Yeah. Like it turns Catherine Monahan's character into just like, it was this thing that I can leverage against you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. It's whatever. It happened. So the team is off to the Vatican. We get priest Ethan Hunt, which is my favorite. Like we get him dolled up and like going through the Vatican, which is amazing.
Yeah, he goes through like 4 different disguises in this scene because they're
in the same sequence. It's the mask thing in 2, but with full on disguises, and I love it.
First, they're like the delivery truck drivers.
Yeah.
Then he gets over the wall, and then he okay, what was I gonna say? He becomes like the priest, and then when he goes like and he meets Luther, and then he dresses up as Owen.
As Owen, yeah. Which I love that plot. Their whole plan is like, okay, what we're gonna do, we're going to impersonate Owen Davian, capture him, and then me impersonating him is gonna seem like I die, so that no one is looking for him. That's a great plan. Like that is finally a really good IMF plan, especially since their last one earlier in the movie was stupid. This is like straight up spy stuff of like, okay, like let's get him replaced. So the whole plan is Zen looking super flossy, like so nice. She spills stuff on Owen Davian's shirt.
Yeah, which forces him to go to the restroom.
Which forces him to go to the restroom. He's going to go in there without his guards. That is when the replacement is going to happen, which I love that. Like that sequence of him washing his hands and like looking down, and then he looks up and he sees himself behind him. It's incredible.
So, right before this, when Ethan is putting the mask on and like they're making it, I love the conversation between him and Luther.
With him and Luther, where Luther totally like screws himself a little bit.
He's like 23 months. That's all it's going to last. I guarantee it. Like, don't do it. And then he's like, Luther,
we got married before. He's like, congratulations. Like, and then he has the full on Philip Seymour Hoffman face, but has the Tom Cruise voice. He's like, thanks. Thanks.
I love. That's one of my favorite things in these when as an actor acting like another character.
I love it.
And then like when Ethan Hunt is Owen, it's
the shirt bit. So good.
Yeah. But I mean, like it's Philip Seymour Hoffman acting like
Tom Cruise would be Philip Seymour Hoffman. I love it. I love it. Just what are we gonna do while my shirt is off? It's like, oh, she wants to wash my shirt. I think it's this is the first one where we get the voice box, right? Because the voice box is used in all the other movies after this with the mask, but I think this is the first time we get it.
No, they've got it in.
Like, that's right. They had it in 2. That's right.
Yeah, like they show it every time in 2.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know how I forgot.
This time it's like they don't focus on it. They show them put it on. That's it.
Yeah, but and this time they really go into programming it, which is cool. I like the key phrase that has every kind of vocal like high and low that you need in order to perfectly like impersonate the person. Like, and the phrase is stupid, but like whatever. It's a cool sequence. Like the read it like, slowly. Which is great. And then the like brief digitization of him when he's when he finally like gets it working. He's like, "I'll be out in a minute, all right?"
I feel like the coughing thing goes on like for a beat too long.
It does, but I love it. And every time I coughed, like after seeing this movie for like a good year, every time I coughed, I would do the fingers thing. Just because it was funny to me, because I'm an idiot. Because 16-year-old me was a complete idiot. So I'd be like,
so annoying. He's not doing it for any reason. Like he's got food, he's got water.
Yeah, he just wants attention, man. Cats just want attention, bro.
It's driving me crazy. All right, where were we? Oh yeah,
so Ethan successfully replicates Owen, I guess, and then runs into Zan and has the delightful shirt exchange. And then
so he gets his hands on the briefcase.
Yeah, gets his hands on the briefcase, which is nice. And then they go into Zan's fancy car, and I love that bit too of them like they open up the panel in the car and they're right over the manhole, and Luther's right there and he's like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Nothing." You? It's like, "Nothing." And then they hop down the manhole, and then Ethan's like, blow the car. She's like, such a nice car. He's like, and still, do it. Like, and that's when he rips off the mask and the voice box, and he's Tom Cruise again. He's like, do it. And she like squinches up as she like pulls the trigger, and then the car explodes, and everyone freaks out at the Vatican. And then you see the whole team on the speedboat like getting away, and they're all smiles. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. And then you get arguably one of two best scenes in the movie is the plane sequence, where they have Owen Davian on the plane. It's like a C-130 or something.
Something, yeah.
It's a giant like carrier, and they have him on a plane, and Ethan's interrogating him, saying, "What is the rabbit's foot? Like, what is it? Where is it? Like, excuse me, like what's going on? And that's when Owen Davian just completely takes charge of the situation and does one of the greatest movie speeches I've ever heard in my life. All right, I got it. I'm going to try and do my best Phil Seymour Hoffman. You have a wife, girlfriend? Because if you do, I'm going to find her, whoever she is. I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to make her bleed and cry and call your name. And then I'm going to find you and kill you right in front of her. Love it. Love it.
Really good.
Love it.
Such a good bad guy. Like
such a good bad guy.
So, again, ton of action movies, and actually just like a ton of movies in general, they try so hard to make the bad guy cool. They pull it off in this. Like if it's like an action movie, they'll try and like show that he's cool because he'll like meet the protagonist and beat him up the first time.
Yeah, exactly. He's cool because he's badass, but this guy is badass because he's cool.
Yeah, it's like he knows what he's doing. He's not like a far-fetched character. Yeah. He just seems like a smart, business savvy guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's a guy that they just shouldn't have pissed with. Like, they should not have.
He got his connections.
Yeah, he's got connections. Like, he's great. I forgot the what I did to your friend was fun. It was fun. He's so good.
So yeah, like it just makes Ethan lose his cool. It's like the first time you see that in the series,
which is amazing.
Besides, I think the closest to this is like in the first one when he's like flipping out right after his team gets killed and Claire shows up again.
Yeah, and he kind of that's true. That is a little bit of angry Ethan.
Yeah, so like a vulnerable Ethan.
Yeah,
makes him seem like a well thought out character.
Exactly. I'm glad we get to see a little bit of that in Fallout. It looks like with the hospital bit.
So the bridge action scene is pretty much right after this, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember because I watched this a week ago, but
I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Was it like in between these scenes was when he gets like the message from Benji about decoding the disc thing?
Yes, the microdot. Yeah, it is after. It's while they're in the car right before the actual bridge scene happens.
Okay, yeah, it's when they're in the convoy.
Because it cuts off right before the convoy gets hit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they're in the cars, they're escorting Owen Davian going back to the plane bit. Like, so Ethan loses it, grabs Davian's chair, drags it across the back of the plane, which is amazing. And then like opens a hatch and like kicks him like out, and he's like hanging out of a plane.
The only thing holding him in are like the ties on the chair.
And Ethan is just snipping them one by one, which is awesome. He's like, "Where's the rabbit's foot? What is a rabbit's foot?"
No one's still not saying anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then Luther holds Ethan back and is like, "This isn't how we do things, Ethan." Like and so they pull him back in, and Davian is like on his back, still in the chair, but he's on his back, and Ethan's like sitting on the floor. He's like, what the rabbit's foot is and where it is are the least of your worries. And he looks at him, he's like, Ethan. And all the blood in your body will just chill.
I love that.
Like, oh, that's bad.
I love that, but like the upcoming reveal kind of takes away from it a little bit. Because it's like right after that, he gets the message where Kerry Russell's character sends him that message that says
little microdot.
Yeah, says that Brassel has been working with Owen.
Yeah.
So it's like he already has access to Ethan's information, so it kind of takes away from that a little bit.
That's funny. I never thought of it like that.
I just thought of it like the second time watching it.
Interesting. I never thought of it like that, but that's a good point. That's a really good point, huh?
But it's not like a big thing, though.
Yeah, it's not.
Because like Everything ramps up from this. Like, this is like nonstop after this moment, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is when the movie kicks into second gear. So they're in the convoy and he gets the message, and then all of a sudden there's just a car that explodes right in front of them because this drone, which this is the first movie I remember seeing a drone be heavily in play in a sequence. It helps that Eagle Eye came out the year after this. Also starring Michelle Moynihan. Anyway. So there's this drone that is attacking the convoy, and a helicopter with a bunch of armed dudes attacking the convoy and attacking all these innocent civilians on this bridge. And so they're all, the IMF are trying to, protect everybody and get everybody clear. And the armed dudes hop down and break into the truck that is holding Davian by shooting some silly putty looking thing onto the door. So I love it. It looks so cool. They shoot the silly putty thing onto the door in a giant circle, and then it hardens, and then they just take a sledgehammer to it, and it cracks and explodes.
It's got the exact same sound effect as in Ant-Man when he freezes. That was when I rewatched Ant-Man like last week. That was my exact thought. I was like, "Oh, it's the Mission Impossible 3 thing," which I love. Metal bending sounds. Yeah. I love it.
Sounds so cool. So Davian escapes. Also, go for it.
I was gonna say, I love the shot in this scene when it's like after the drone does its first flyby, and then the helicopter with like the soldiers in it flies up behind Ethan.
Yeah. Oh, the slow shot, and it's like he's hearing it, and then he turns around and sees them, and they're just staring at him.
Clad in black. It's just like ominous. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. Yeah. Ethan, the whole time Ethan's trying to get to the gun, like in the truck.
Yeah. I love when he gets to it, and there's like. He gets out of the truck and there's like the hole in the bridge that he jumps over. You see him throw the gun over first.
Yeah.
Like small details like that.
It's nice. It's a great sequence. I know it's it's funny because this was what sold me on the movie, like just from the trailer, was a shot of like the explosion right next to him and him being flung into the car,
sideways,
which is so cool. And you never see that in any, or at that point, you never saw it in anything. That's more of a common thing now.
Yeah,
that's Ryan Johnson's bread and butter in The Last Jedi. Like it's explosions and people being thrown away from them. But
yeah,
let's see. Okay, so Davian has escaped, and immediately Ethan freaks out. He's like, "I got to get to Julia," and so he calls his house. And Aaron Paul picks up. He's like, "Oh, hey, man, Julia said I could stay here for a minute." As he's like raiding the fridge.
It's like apologizing for being there.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm sorry for being here, man. Julia said I could hang out." And she's like, no, listen, where is Julia? He's like, "Oh, I think she's at the hospital, dude."
Yeah, he's like, some guy called her. Came by and asked.
Yeah. It's like, "Hey, did your friend find you?" It's like, my friend. It's like, "Yeah, some guy was looking around for you." Like, so Ethan takes off, just jacks a car, and takes off towards the hospital. And then
he jacks the car. It's so funny looking because he like the way he jumps into it.
Yeah,
looks
from the
really
back.
Painful.
Like,
yeah. Like just leapfrogs into it.
Yeah, like it does look really uncomfortable. So while that's happening, we see Michelle Moynihan's Julia at the hospital, and she's taking a shower after a long shift, and then she's leaving, and then this guy comes up to her and asks her for help with a patient. And she's like, "Yeah, sure," and then he just like puts a sticker on her arm. And she just, it's my favorite bit of acting from her probably ever, where she just like looks at him with this doofy smile. And she's like, "Well, what's that?" And then whatever is in it like hits her and she just gets conked out. And then we see Ethan running into the hospital and passes by that guy with a gurney covered which Julia is presumably on that gurney. But
I love that.
I love whenever that happens in a movie, and I love when it happens to Ethan.
Like he kind of holds the door.
He
open.
holds the door open for the guy. Ethan finds out that Julia is gone, but unfortunately, he's also under attack from other IMF agents. And what's his name? Which I never remember this actor's name.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't ever.
Right. And I love him and stuff. He's a great character actor, but I literally never remember that boy's name.
He's always like a cop or like a government agent and things.
Yeah, exactly. He's great and stuff, but I love their exchange. Just like come on, Ethan, like you got to come in. Like it's just like, all right. And then he takes off running. And then the tase looks really uncomfortable. Like,
yeah. Okay. So I love that. Like when he looks around, then he books it. Cause I feel like a worse action movie would have him almost pretty much get away, but they catch him pretty quickly.
They catch him immediately, which is awesome. But, so that leads to, we next see Ethan with the Hannibal mask on his face.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
So, this is weird to me when Brassel is talking to him, and he's like I will bleed on this flag to make its stripes stay red or whatever.
Are you kidding? That's a great speech.
No, I love that, but like,
I will bleed on the flag to keep the stripes red.
I love that, but like the weird part to me is I swear they have like a weird filter or something on the camera, because like part of his face is so distorted looking, and it's only when it's looking at him from the Ethan view.
Yeah,
because when it shows him from like the regular view, he looks completely normal.
Yes. Okay. No, I get that. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be that it's from his point of view, it looks weird. So Ethan is strapped down. Musgrave is trying to help him out, and pass him a little paperclip, and I love that bit too. That's when you get the Ethan can read lips thing, which is silly.
Is it a paperclip or is it just a knife?
Was it a knife? You're right.
Like
you're right. I'm thinking
fold-out
paperclip
knife.
from 4. You're right. You're right. It's just a knife.
I love the lip reading thing, because he does it the first time when he's trying to remember or when Julia's trying to remember the name of the lake, and he reads her lips through the window.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a nice callback, and it's a nice skill for us to constantly be seeing him do. Like, I like that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
So he, gives.
Crudup is so good in this scene.
Crudup is really good in the movie, to be honest. I think he's pretty great.
He's like doing the thing where like he's pretending like he's just like disappointed with him.
Like chastising him, but at the same time he's feeding him info, saying, "Listen, we tracked where Davian is, or we tracked where the rabbit's foot is, because Davian wants you to get Davian wants Ethan to get the rabbit's foot, from a place in Shanghai, and so
he's got 48 hours to do it.
Yeah, Ethan's carried away on the gurney, and then escapes. We are family, and which I love that whole thing of like he's jamming our comms. He's like, I know he's jamming our comms.
I love the idea that the IMF is in the same building as like the DMV and these other government things.
That's fantastic. That's such a great idea. Because who would expect it? Like no one. It's so good.
I love too how like it shows him at the airport, like just briefly in like a very basic disguise, and then that explains how he gets to Shanghai.
Yeah, exactly with the long mutton chops and like the beanie and the mustache.
He pretends like he doesn't speak
Croatian
English
or something.
Yeah, Croatian.
Yeah. So he gets to Shanghai, and the team is there, and they're.
Now there's only 3 hours.
The movie science doesn't work. Yeah, now there's only 3 hours left to get the rabbit's foot from the secure building. And so they come up with this idea of how to break into the building from the top, because that's what Ethan Hunt does, as we learned in number 2. Takes it from the top. the whole like fulcrum thing doesn't work, but whatever. It's like, what is that? It's like a fulcrum. It's like, exactly, a fulcrum. Like they really want you to know that word. Like that doesn't make sense, but okay, sure. Anyway, I love that we don't really see the sequence.
I love that so much. Like,
I think that's such a great choice.
I feel like that's another nod to number 2 as well, because a very similar thing. Because
it would be the same exact thing of like breaking into the lab.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly this building where, I mean, it's the same plan almost too. Like
goes in through the top, breaks in, then he gets to parachute out. I love that. Like they're talking about like how difficult this is going to be, and Luther is like, this is going to make Langley look like a cakewalk. I love that. There's
yeah, I love every time Langley comes back up.
The baseball thing is so strange to me.
It's a weird choice. Like it's silly, and I like that we spend our entire time on that instead of like the actual mission. Is the oh yeah now they're confused, hit it again. Like shoots the baseballs again. Like,
I love when he swings over and he's like sliding down, or just like taking each guy out as he goes down.
Oh, that's super cool. That's a great shot. So yeah, he gets into the building, and then they're like, okay, we got a couple minutes. And you get a nice little downtime scene with Zan and
Declan.
Oh, why am I blanking on his name? Declan. Thank you. I was gonna say Dalton. I think that was wrong.
Timothy Dalton.
And then all of a sudden, I wish he'd be a great Mission Impossible.
I was about to say he'd be a good Phelps.
Oh, he would have been a good Phelps.
Make a Bond into Phelps.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I love like right before this when Ethan lands it, like Luther so looks like he made it. I knew we'd make it.
I knew he'd make it. Like
I think this movie has the best Luther in it, I think.
Yeah. I'd agree with you. I think he's trying in this one.
In the first one, I like him, but he's just like being cool. Like that's all his.
Yeah,
all
he's
the
just a
depth
cool
to his
guy.
character. He's a cool guy. Who likes
in the second one, he's kind of a putz.
He's like exasperated. He's like, I don't want to be on this mission.
Yeah. In the third one, he's really cool. In 4, he's not really there. And in 5, he's a mixture of like a putz and the really cool guy. Like,
what were you saying about Declan and Zane?
So we get a really nice like just quiet moment between them, and then Ethan just comes shooting out of a window.
I love that so much. It's like
with his parachute.
That their moment is like right on the edge of just being cheesy and unnecessary. And all of a sudden, he's like, "I'm coming."
Exactly.
Good.
It's so perfect. So then they get away. They're in the car, in the getaway car, and Ethan's trying to make the call to Davian because he has literally minutes. And 2006 problem, no bars. All the spy tech in the world. You got the masks, you got the cool cars, you got explodey things, but when your cell phone just doesn't have signal.
Right before that, I think it's kind of funny. They make a big deal about how the building is too short for him to do the base jump.
Oh yeah,
but in 2 he does a base jump, and
he does the
what
base
I think
jump.
is from like a smaller distance.
Much smaller distance.
Like
he jumps right into the building. Like he's like maybe a good like 50 feet off of the building, and jumps into it. Like yeah. This one has real science, Zach. After all, fulcrum. So, you know. This is where we get like. So there's a giant car chase going because they have the rabbit's foot and they're trying to get away, and the security from the building's coming after them. And this is when you get the awesome like he opens the car door and like holds onto the seatbelt and is just completely like sideways out of the car and shooting at them like. It just looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
Right? It looks really cool. So finally he gets on the line with Owen Davian, and then then they set up a meat place. And so Ethan goes to meet him, goes into the limo, and is told to drink the thing on the counter. Drinks it, gets knocked out, and then he wakes up with a thing in his nose, and they shoot a thing into his brain. And this is when we catch up to the scene at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Where Owen Davian's saying, "We put an explosive charge in your head." Does this sound familiar? It's like, "You hung me out of." Oh no, that was earlier when Davian tells him, like, "You hung me out of a plane. You can tell a lot about a person's character by how they treat people they don't have to treat well." Which is a great line.
Do you think the storytelling device works? Like where it starts off in that scene and then it comes back to it later?
I think it does. Yes. I think it works for literally just for this movie. I think it works because it sets a nice tone for the entire movie and kind of keeps you on edge for the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's just a cool sequence to have at the beginning of a movie. Like,
yeah.
Is it necessary? No, you could have totally had it like in normal time, but it sets such a nice tone for the whole movie at the beginning. Like, I think it works.
I think it barely works. It works,
really?
But like, yeah, it's like another thing, like the having them be engaged or married, where it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't. It feels like there are better things you could have done.
Yeah. Listen, would I have rather that they had like a awesome like Lindsay action sequence and we see her get taken or something? Yeah, like absolutely, that'd be way better. But I don't know. I'm into it. And plus, the whole time I'm dreading that gunshot because I've already seen how this goes.
See, yeah, I like that, and then also like that, like you're wondering, like, does he know where the rabbit's foot is? And then when you finally get to that point, you're like, well, he had it. It's like, is he screwed now? Because like he lost it somehow. Did one of Owen's guys betray him?
Exactly, which is crazy. Ugh.
Yeah, that's why it works, but. I don't know.
I think it works.
It's not my favorite device to use in a movie or a show.
Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's fair. So we get that whole sequence. Julia gets shot in the head. Then Davian walks out, and then in walks Musgrave. What? But who was working with Davian was Brussels, not Musgrave. Musgrave's our friend. Nope. Musgrave's a rat. He's dirty because it's Billy Crudup, and we should have seen it coming.
I do like this double blind because if it was
me too.
If it was Brussels, then that would be too like overdone.
That's way too boring and easy. Yeah. I like that Brussels is just a dick.
Yeah. Oh man, so Musgrave has this line right here that just like solidifies him as just like a jerk, where he says, "Brussels is just like a oh man, what's the word? He's an affirmative action poster boy." It's like,
oh yeah,
that's like it's right along the line of racist.
yeah. That's when you know how much he clearly does not like being in the IMF. So, oh God, they're letting the blacks in again. Am I right? Like, it's bad. It's bad. It's a bad line. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
oh man. Oh jeez. So you find out that like Musgrave has framed Brussels by like calling Davian from Brussels' phone, which I like that. Yeah. And I like that the thing that Musgrave wants from Ethan is to find out, like, does Brussels know? Like, who knows? Like, who did she know? Did she know that it was actually me and not Brussels? Like, did she buy that?
Oh, that's pretty. Like, it's almost comedic to me. It's just like he's like explaining his plan, but the way he's doing it, I kind of like.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of paranoid.
It's super paranoid. It's very Bond villain, but it works. so we get that whole exchange. Excuse me. And then Ethan takes down Musgrave, which is awesome. And then runs out of that building. Yeah, which I love how brutal it is. It's awesome. And then he runs out of that building, takes Musgrave's phone, and calls Benji to track where Julia is and where Davian is.
Track the last phone call.
Yeah, track the last phone call. And that's when you get the trademarked running sequence. Which is literally just Ethan running through the streets of Shanghai. So, which is cool.
He runs, is it 3 miles?
Yeah, he runs like 3 miles, which is amazing. Like it's an awesome sequence. So he runs, and then there's the giant. I mean, this the end of the movie action sequence. Davian triggers the explosive in
Ethan's head.
You
got about 4 minutes.
Yeah. And he's trying to fight through the pain, and then Julia's got to do the defibrillator thing on him from earlier in the movie that they were going to try and do. And I love that he puts like the popsicle sticks in his mouth.
I like that he kills Davian like while the bomb is activated.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the coolest fight in the whole movie. I forgot that happened before. Yeah, he's like reaching for his head and like using his elbows to knock the crap out of him.
I love that,
which is awesome. And then he knocks Davian into the street.
I love that. When he's doing the elbow thing, it reminds me of the way Batman fights Bane the first time.
Yes, that's exactly it.
He's doing like the same because he's covering his face.
It's so cool. Elbow fights are cool. I don't know why. Like they just look neat.
And then Owen's death reminds me of Dennis Hopper's death in Speed.
That's exactly
just
what
like,
it is.
Yeah, and just, instead of hitting like that flashing light, he just gets taken out by a truck instead.
Yeah, which is great. It's satisfying. Like
I love when Owen gets hit by the truck and like Ethan's just holding onto the floor like as close as he possibly can.
Yeah.
And then I love shoe drops out of the sky.
Yeah. It's a really well like sequenced fight.
Yeah, it's brutal without showing
it's
much.
Super brutal. So Julia's got to hit him with the defibrillator in the brain.
Kill himself.
Yeah, and kill him. And he puts in the popsicle sticks, and she's about to do it. And he's like, wait. He's like, I love you. Puts the popsicle sticks back in his mouth. And then she shocks him, and he like shocks so hard that he breaks the popsicle sticks in his mouth. Which I love. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's so fast.
It's so fast. Just immediately just bah, and he's done.
And then while he's out, she has to take out like the remaining people.
She kills Musgrave.
Yeah. She kills like his henchman and then him.
Yeah, which is awesome. And then like he comes to and he like snaps to. He's like, like
Yeah, I love how like he instantly just grabs the gun and like aims around.
Exactly. And then that's it. They're fine. And then he that's when he tells her like, listen, there's something I gotta tell you about me.
Yeah. So this is the very first time they say Impossible Missions Force.
I can't believe that this is it.
Yeah. Because they're on that bridge and she's like, so what's that stand for? He says it. And she's
so
like, no. It's like,
that's so weird that that's the first moment. It doesn't seem right. But yeah, and then that's pretty much it. We go back to the US. Ethan is given a little bit of time by Brassels. Brassels is a very proud papa.
He's like, so what is the rabbit's foot? If you promise to stay, I'll tell you.
Yeah, which I love. And then that's pretty much it. Ethan goes off on his honeymoon, and that's the end of the movie.
It's so strange. So like the first one ends with him thinking about how he's going to quit, but then he gets that mission. And then the second one, he's just like, I'm gonna go on vacation again. And this one, he's like, I'm gonna go on my
honeymoon. Yep.
Then the fourth one, he's just like right into the next mission.
Yeah, which I like.
He's like, no breaks. This is my job. This is what I do. Yeah.
Like, you have no idea where he is at the end of the movie, which is cool.
So, what is your favorite performance in this one?
Owen Davian.
Yeah, he's too good. he's like
easily. He's too good. Like, Philip Seymour Hoffman is too good in this movie. He's too good for it.
His screen time is so limited, and he just does so well with it.
But he makes such an impression. He's the best Mission Impossible villain. Easily.
Yeah.
I think Solomon Lane is a close second. And we will see after Fallout how that pans out. But
I have thoughts on Solomon Lane, which I will get into on our next one. Yeah, or
Solomon Lane
from now.
Solomon Lane.
I do like him. I will say that.
What's your favorite performance other than Philip Seymour Hoffman?
I think Billy Crudup. I just like him in it. He's fun.
Same. He's really fun in it. He's a good time. Like, even just from like his first scene, like take some pictures from him.
Yeah. He seems like just like a nice dude. Like, they really sell that he is on Ethan's side.
Exactly. And then you find out he's just a racist piece of trash. It's like, oh, thanks for coming. I can't decide what size Slurpee to get. Like,
I think if I had to give like a bad performance to somebody, it'd be Maggie Q, but that's just because she doesn't have a lot to do. Like, she's fine,
exactly.
But it's like everybody else. Even Jonathan Rhys Meyers has like a little bit more. Like,
yeah, he does.
The part that pushes me over for Jonathan Rhys Meyers is when him and Tom Cruise are yelling in Italian, and then like when he fixes like the car, and he's just like.
I love that with the smoke machine.
Yeah, and like he's waving goodbye to all the people, and like everybody's happy.
Grazie. And they're all like, it's like, ciao.
Whereas like all she has is she's got that small action scene when they're saving Kerry Russell, and then she does like the Owen wine spill thing. That's pretty much it.
Well, but that's because she gets shot like at the I mean, she gets shot in the Rabbit's Foot mission. So
yeah, I mean, like, she could still talk.
Yeah,
it's
a shame because I really like her in it, but you're right. She's very present in the first half, and then
the entire team is gone in like the final act because they get picked up by Brassels, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, right at the airport, right? Yeah. Like, they're all coming off the plane, and he's there.
Yeah. Like, you still think Brassels is the bad guy at that point and stuff. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting way to get the team out of the way without killing anybody.
Mr. Brassel, it is unacceptable to judge Agent Ferris's competence. It is unacceptable that chocolate makes you fat, but I've eaten my share, and guess what?
He's got some line where like talking about like the invisible. It's like he's the invisible man now, and he's like, Wells, not Ellison, in case you're going to be cute.
Yeah, just in case you're going to be cute again. Like.
He's such a good, like, angry boss.
You know what? He's my second favorite performance in the movie. He's so good.
Yeah, he's mine too. Out of 10 rabbit feet, what would you give this?
Ooh, I don't know, because I don't know how to quantify the rabbit's foot. That's the thing. Now, out of 10 anti-gods, I'd know. I would give it an 8.5.
I think I'd give it an 8.
That's fair.
And like, just because I have like just the small problems with Michelle Monaghan's character, and it's not even her character, like just her character as a plot device. Because it's not like a bad like Tandy Newton's character.
No, she's not inappropriate.
It's just like a personal preference thing where I feel like it's an easy storytelling device, and I wish you would have gone with something better.
It's funny. This one used to be my favorite one.
It's weird to me. Like, I've seen people hate on it a lot lately.
I don't know why. Yeah, everyone's hating on 3 now, and I don't know why.
Hating on 3 and loving 2.
And loving 2. It makes no sense.
I feel like it's like a hipster thing almost.
I guess.
But also, I think
because 2's the kicked child.
I think part of it too is like a sort of nostalgia thing, because I feel like a lot of people that did like it were in middle school, high school when 2 came out.
That's fair.
And then JJ gets just a lot of undue hatred.
Yeah, he does.
Which is annoying. Like people complaining about lens flare. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
You're gonna complain about just like any other camera tricks that other people tend to use a lot.
Exactly. Listen, I love it every time.
Yeah,
no
like,
joke.
I'm
I
totally
love
fine
the
with
lens flare every time. I think it looks great. Like,
I'm trying to think. In Super 8, it might be a little too much for me, but
there is a little. Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, I mean, it's like the same thing as me hating on like John Woo's like slow motion in the other one, but John Woo uses slow motion well in other things.
Exactly.
2, exactly. Well done. 2 is just like, I feel like it's just not as good. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I've got.
All right, that's all I've got. Join us next time when we cover Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, with guest Logan Noggle.
I think that's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Oh, there's one thing. So I think when we did the Ghost Protocol episode, I attributed a scene in that, but there was actually a scene from this, so I like mixed them together because I watched them so recently. Like, I think I mixed when he breaks into the Vatican. I mixed that up with the Kremlin entrance, like the part where he uses the zip line.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're right. Yes, yeah.
So when I was talking about it's when I was talking about the callbacks to the first movie.
First one. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
I mixed them up.
Yeah, that's fair. I forgot about that.
This one has a few callbacks to the first one as well, like actually say Langley.
Yeah.
All right. Guess we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody, or good day, whenever you're listening to this. Thanks for listening to this episode on the Subject. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it, subscribe, rate us on whatever podcast source you're using. For more content or to reach out to us, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at On The Subject. And for more details, links are in our show notes. Thanks again.
This has been a Geeks Rising production, your executive producer of Vandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.